gathered once again with a very hot topic. And today's topic theme is Blueprints of Progress, what Nigeria can learn for global systems and leadership. And it's going to be taken by a financial guru, a very great personality in the financial industry, no other than Chika Mbono. If you are a fan of Arise Nigeria, Arise Television, you would have seen him on several occasions talking finance. He's here with us, and he's going to take the lecture. Can we? Oh, he has walked in. Can you please stand up? Let's recognize the guest lecturer, Chika Mbono. You're welcome, sir. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much. So, in each of these lectures, we have always chosen very hot topics, contemporary issues, and we've always had a very good outing. Today, I know we will be different, and we should be prepared to hear from the financial guru and all about how to make Nigeria progress. So, without wasting our time, I want to really welcome all of us to this August occasion in December. You're welcome, and thank you for coming.
A warm round of applause for Engineer Chukwudi there for his speech, his welcome address. Of course, Engineer Vigilus Chukwudi Ezegu, FNSE, FNICE, is representing the National Chairman, NICE, Engineer Tokunbo Ajanoku. Without further ado, I will be calling on the Chairman of the occasion for his remark. Engineer Yusuf Olanrewaju Shagaya, FNSE, MFR, with a round of applause, please. Let's welcome the Chairman of the occasion. Please come forward. A round of applause till he gets on stage, please. Let's encourage him.
Thank you very much. It is my great pleasure to be here this afternoon. I've been looking forward to an occasion where I will meet my first boss ever, Engineer Reverend Ette. Yes, indeed, he was my first boss. He wasn't my employer, but he was my boss, my mentor. I started my engineering in Ibadan some 55 years ago. I came in under the tutelage of my boss, and our boss, Chief, we call him Chief at that time, in Overlap and Partners. In the year 1970, Oga was already there many years ahead of me with his bosom friend, another boss of mine, of blessed memory, may so rest in peace, Engineer Lawrence Arokodare. I trained under... because Engineer Ette is a damn good engineer. You want to give me a hand? Because if he trained me, which is ahead of many of you who are in white today, eventually joined Etteh, and then, and you are all good engineers, because any engineer that comes out of Etteh should be a good engineer. We must say a big thank you to Chief Ette. Chief, congratulations. I got a call a week ago. I was far away in Mexico, in Cancun, when my colleague and brother, Imbim, called me and said, look, I had to be here today. Unfortunately, I have a conflicting engagement in Ile-Ife. I happen to be the chairman board of trustee Ojeja University, and the owner of the university is Oni of Ife. And today is honoring the president of Ghana, Mahama, and expects me to be there. But I find this one more important than being in Ife. And I left Lagos this morning. I'm from Ilorin, and I stay in Ilorin most of the time. But to be able to get here early enough, I slept in Lagos. And I left my house at 8 o'clock to get here for 10. Luckily, the traffic was not too bad. I was able to be here by 20 minutes to 10. And I was the only person, the first person to be here. So I decided to take a tour and to refresh myself of the memories of my Ibadan days. You know, I was here for 12 years in Ibadan as a young engineer, and we started our practice here in Ibadan. Some of my colleagues who I know together with me. So when I was down, I came back, and there were still a few people in white, and I inquired who they are, and they said they are engineers from Etteh. When I was here in the 70s, we used to be more punctual. I don't know when engineers started coming to functions very late. My Oga said, he doesn't expect the occasion to start before 12. And true to fact, we are starting around 12 o'clock. And I think engineers in Ibadan should change. I became an Ilorin man. And Ilorin, we don't fail. When we say 10 o'clock, we start at 10 o'clock. I think you should learn from us, engineers from Ibadan. I learned engineering from here, and I became a good engineer. But you should learn how to keep time. Anyway, that is just my introduction. Let me now go to the protocol. Our distinguished father, leader in our noble profession, Engineer Reverend Ette, Ette. We call him chief in those days, and he's still a chief, and he's a reverend. Our mother, Chief is Lizzie Ette, my auntie, my sister, distinguished colleagues in the profession, members of other professional bodies, ladies and gentlemen, I feel honored to be called upon to be the guest of honor. Now I'm now standing as the chairman at the 10th annual lecture of a great man, one of the foremost indigenous consulting engineering practitioners in Nigeria. I was privileged to be one of the young engineers employed by Overup and Partners over 55 years ago, precisely in July 1970. After leaving ABU, where Oga went to, I was hired by Overup. I was one of the few engineers that joined them. Engineer Ette and his bosom friend, classmate and colleague, Engineer Lawrence Alokodare, blessed memory, were already in the employment of the almighty Overup and Partners, and one of the 4 foreign consulting engineering practitioners in Nigeria, which included Scott Wilson and Partners and 2 others. Chief and his friend had been with Overup for about 6 years before I joined them. Indeed, they graduated many years before me from the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University, where I also went. They both had been chartered with MICE and were on their way out of Overall to establish the prestigious Etteh and Partners. I hope I'm right. One of the foremost indigenous consulting engineering firms in Nigeria. The rest is history. Etteh became a phenomenon firm in Nigeria. The company had offices and projects in all the then 3 regions, that is North, West, and Eastern region of Nigeria. The firm attracted all indigenous young engineers in Overall and other foreign firms. Etteh outgrew all of them. Etteh had a training program to all engineers that moved to Etteh from Overall. Many of my colleagues in Overall that migrated to Etteh, I don't think Engineer Ajibola migrated to Etteh, had opportunity to pursue their master's programs in the UK. I wasn't that lucky because I was snatched by another consulting engineering firm, also associates. And most of them came with a master's degree, came back from the University of Surrey, just like Chief also did, master's in bridges. I went to Canada to go and do something else under a different program. Well, may God bless Engineer Ette and his bosom friend. I must seize this opportunity and the blessing of all of you to say a big thank you to Chief, because Chief adopted me as a younger brother. He gave me all the rudiments of engineering, which I'm using today. He made sure that I was a good engineer. Just like this, no project leaves Overall drawing room without being checked. The design has to be checked by one engineer, cross-checked by another engineer, and approved by another superior engineer. And those superior engineers were Engineer Ette and Engineer Rokodare. Just give them. Today, things are different. Come design office without being checked, without being cross-checked, without being approved. And that is why we have the problem we have in the consulting industry today. If all of us can borrow a leaf from what this gentleman here has done, Nigeria will not be where we are in terms of professional practice. I thank God for your life, sir, Engineer Chief Reverend Ette, for being a developer of engineering in Nigeria, for being a builder of men and women in engineering. God bless you, Chief. We're all proud of you. We celebrate you. We wish you more life, more good life in good health. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Yeah. Well, that forms my opening remarks. And the program today is in 2 forms. There is, the lecture, which is going to be delivered by an erudite speaker. My friend is here, Engineer Ali. I didn't see you before. Well, you came to greet me, yes. Yes. So, and after then, there's going to be the book launch. I mentioned earlier that I'm supposed to be in Ife. I will still be in Ife, but I will make it a point of duty to be here to say thank you to Chief Ette, and I will be part of the book launch. And I hope all of you will be part of that book launch, and all of you will pay handsomely for a book written in the honor of our boss, father to many of us, brother to a lot of us, mentor to many of us, Engineer Ette, and I will stay put. And after then, I'll go to Ife. But I will want to say thank you for bringing me up as a good engineer, because I know I'm one. Thank you.
A warm round of applause for the chairman of the occasion, that Engineer Yusuf Olanrewaju Shagaya, FNSE, MFR. And it's also interesting to know, while doing my research on Engineer Etteh, I found out he also has an OFR, Order of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A round of applause for this distinguished man. Of course, there is still a whole lot more for us to do before we get to the book launch proper. But I do recall when the representative of the national chairman of NICE, that is Engineer Dr. Vigilus Chukwudi Ezugu, when he was here, he did mention quite a number of distinguished individuals who are here with us. You are all distinguished to start with, but we also have friends of the house, as we would like to put it. And once again, I would like to acknowledge the presence of the past president, NSE Engineer Chief Olumuyiwa Alade Ajibola. A round of applause for him, please. We also have with us this day the chairman of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, Premier Branch, Engineer Ayokunu Ojedele. Good to have you. Of course, we'll be moving on in the program this morning. We'll try, in the interest of time, to make things snappy. But before we call on our guest of honor, as it were, or our guest lecturer, as it were, for his presentation today, we do know that this lecture today focuses on leadership, systems, and national progress. And these are themes that our national discourse. Almost everything we talk about on a daily basis, people will say in a saner climb. So we wonder, or I wonder, what he will be letting us into or introducing us to in terms of global practices that we need to engage with for our progress as Nigerians. I'm really interested in this. But before I call forward our guest lecturer, I would like to call on Dr. Mrs. Grace Amusa, a fellow of the Nigeria Society of Engineers and the Nigeria Institution of Civil Engineers. She is also the national vice chairman of the Nigerian Institute of Civil Engineers, to come forward to read the citation of our guest lecturer. A round of applause for her, please. Mrs. Grace, or Dr. Mrs. Grace Amusa. Good to have you.
Good morning, sirs and ma'ams. Please, I will want to call forward the guest lecturer. I have the pleasure to invite to the podium, to the front, as before I take the citation, Mr. Chikatara Hashima Umbunu. Please come forward, sir. Thank you, sir. I have the pleasure to read the citation of the guest lecturer for today, distinguished lecture in honor of our father, Engineer Etteh Ette. And the guest lecturer for today is Mr. Chikatara Kashiman Umbudu, FCA, FICA, AMP, LBS, IESE. Mr. Umboyo is a consummate banker and financial services expert. He was managing director and chief executive officer of 2 Nigerian commercial banks, the Citizens International Bank, and the Assurance Bank of Nigeria. He is currently the MD/CEO of KSBC Advisory Partners Limited, a first-class financial consulting firm based in Lagos, Nigeria, and working with several financial institutions across Africa. Mr. Umbono has over 36 years experience spanning across accounting, consulting, and banking, training, mentoring, and life coaching. He started his career at the renowned international consulting and accounting firm, Actor Ederson, now KMPG in Nigeria, where he qualified as a chartered accountant. While in Actor Ederson, his experience covered audit, tax, and consulting services. He joined the Guaranty Trust Bank, GT Bank, Nigeria, as pioneer staff before rising to the height of his banking career as MD/CEO of 2 Nigerian commercial banks. Currently, as a consultant and trainer, Mr. Umbono is supporting banks across Africa to build capacity to contribute to the development and deepening of the financial services industry in Africa. His areas of focus, among others, include transactions and credit structuring, risk management, corporate, commercial, and retaining banking, corporate transformations, branch management, performance reviews, sales and relationship management, human capacity management, and capacity building. He has active projects with the Central Bank of Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Ghana, and Liberia, helping to transform various banking institutions. Mr. Umbono has, in the last half-decade, become a highly respected and influential finance, business, and economic analyst on the national television and YouTube. His opinions and suggestions are helping to shape national dialogue and policy actions on the economy, business, and finance. Mr. Umbono is a very brilliant scholar, a first-class honor graduate of civil engineering. A round of applause for the guest lecturer. And a multiple academic prize winner, including as the overall best student of his set and the national best overall in the final qualifying professional examinations of the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Nigeria. He has undergone several professional development trainings in world-class institutions, including the Lagos Business School and IESE Business School, Barcelona, Spain. He is a fellow of Chartered Institute of Accountants, Nigeria. I introduce to you the distinguished guest lecturer for today, Mr. Chikatara Kashiman Umbono.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together as I invite Mr. Chika Umbono, FCA, FICA, to deliver the 10th Reverend Engineer Ette, Etteh Annual Distinguished Lecture. It's good to have you, sir.
I'm not very good in this protocol thing, so please pardon me on the protocol thing. So I will stand on all the protocols established already. I think that when the engineer Ibim reached out to me to come and speak today, I guess he only chose me because of my presence on Arise Television. I regularly appear there. He didn't know there was more to me than that. He didn't know also that I was a first-class honors degree holder in civil engineering, which is so relevant to what we are doing here today. Yeah. He didn't know that. Today is a special honor, a special honor. Today is a special honor. We gather to celebrate a man who shaped multiple generations of engineers. Our own Reverend Engineer Ette Ette, OFR, a symbol of excellence, ethics, and engineering discipline. Back in the University of Ife in those days, those of us in civil engineering, and incidentally, I saw one of my classmates here, Engineer Wale Lagunju, who happened to be a member of your Ibadan chapter. He was among, in my class that time, there were 26 of us in my final year class in civil engineering in Ife. There were 5 of us that had first class, and Wale was one of them. Yeah. Back in the University of Ife, those of us who were in civil engineering worshipped the legendary name of Etteh and Partners. Worshipped the name. It was the Harvard, the Mount Everest of engineering internships. Going into Etteh and Partners was harder than getting a visa to Canada. It was more difficult than getting a visa to Canada. During one of our concrete design classes, I whispered to a classmate, my brother, if Etteh ever texts me for IT, I will frame the letter and hang it in my sitting room. He just replied me, oh boy, just pass strength of materials first. Let's start from there. Some of us never made it to Etteh and Partners. Instead, we made it to Etteh, Arrow and Prayers, the prayer department of job seekers. And that's one major thing that the engineering profession in Nigeria needs to address, because we lost a lot of our talent to other professions. Indeed, sirs and ma'ams, about the 5 people who had first class from my set in Ife, 3 of us ended up being chartered accountants, and 3 of us ended up running banks in Nigeria as MD CEO. That will show you the amount of talent that we lost. So eventually, the lack of structured career paths made some of us wander into accounting and then wander into banking. No, I mean, see, the engineer can do everything, literally. And I remember when I entered into the first accounting class, I told, after the first lecture, I asked, why did they read this course for 5 years in the university? Why did they read accounting for 4 or 5 years in university? That it looks so simple. And indeed, it was very simple, because when some of us entered into that profession, in the ICANN examinations, we all came first in Nigeria. We won the subject prizes. We beat literally everybody in those exams. I remember in one exam, one of the levels, I came first, and one of my classmates from Ife came third in the whole Nigeria in accounting. Meanwhile, we didn't read accounting as first degree. It tells you the mobility, the utility of engineering disciplines. Eventually, the lack of structured career paths made some of us wander into accounting and banking, where we now design loan portfolios instead of foundations, where we now and calculate debt service ratios instead of bending moments. But one thing remains very clear: an engineer never stops thinking in systems. An engineer never stops designs. An engineer never stops structures. And today, we are here to examine something even bigger than a skyscraper. Nigeria itself, the building we all live inside. That's what we're looking at today. How do we redesign this national structure so that it stands firmly, functions efficiently, and serves its people? My speech today will have a couple of parts, and I will start from the first part. And at the end of the session, somebody said I should speak Jara about the new tax regime. Now, if you have the time, maybe I will say one or two things about that. If you oblige me, I'm not, it's up to you guys. Because it's a major thing in Nigeria now, what's happening about tax in 2026. So the part one of my speech says that every great nation starts with a blueprint. Every great nation starts with a blueprint. No responsible engineer pours concrete without a drawing. No responsible engineer pours concrete without a drawing. No one says, let's build first, we will design later. Let's build first, we will design later. Nobody says like that. Except maybe in some parts of Nigeria, they happen. A blueprint is the soul of any successful construction. It defines the plan, the sequence, the load parts, the materials, the reinforcement, and the long-term usage. Nations that have succeeded did not do so accidentally. They moved from wishful thinking to master planning, from guesswork to calculations, from hoping to knowing. Countries like Singapore, Malaysia, South Korea, Rwanda were deliberate. They agreed on what are the long-term goals of those countries, what national discipline will assist us achieve that, how will we ensure our plans are continuous, and then how do we have merit-driven leadership and institutional strength over strong personalities like we have in Nigeria now. So meanwhile, Nigeria, our country, dear country, often changes its whole national direction the moment a new government comes into power. The moment a new government comes into power, you will hear the governor, the president, abandon the old plans, start with new plans. Meanwhile, Nigeria, as I said, changes its own national direction the moment a new government comes in. New vision, new agenda, new priorities, new slogans, new consultants, same old problems. Same old problems. If you go and flip your old newspapers and look at them, you will still maybe 20, 30 years ago, fuel queues in Nigeria, they're just stopping. You will start seeing things, scarcity, problems. The same problems that we had about 30, 40 years ago are still with us. We behave like the new site engineer who comes to the site and says, forget the old drawing. I don't trust the engineer. I will do my own. This is how we end up with abandoned projects, duplicated policies, inconsistent reform, and a national development that behaves like NEPA light, coming and going without notice. Until Nigeria starts respecting continuity, the way engineers respect load calculations, stability will remain elusive to our country. Let me look at part 2, which I call systems that work. Systems that work. Lessons from around the world. Now let's take a deeper world tour with stronger examples. Let me just pick some things from around the world. Let's look at Singapore, what I call the discipline of a construction site. That's how I titled Singapore, the discipline of a construction site. Singapore in the 1960s was more like Nigerian local government. Few resources, but plenty of potentials. Lee Kuan Yew understood something fundamental. Nation building is engineering. It requires calculation, not emotion. Discipline, not drama. Execution, not excuses. Singapore's secret pillars were zero tolerance for mediocrity. You see it every day in Nigeria here. Nigeria is a place where you finish designing the building. That's when you remember you need a lift. You know, you finish designing a power plant. That's when you remember that you need to have gas to fire it. Mediocrity everywhere. You just be wondering, what kind of people are these? Highly paid, highly qualified civil servants. In Nigeria, the civil servants are very lowly paid, but the richest among us. Meritocracy, no half measures. Use your tongue to count your teeth. What's happening in Nigeria? Rigorous education. These days, our children are half of the time on strike. And the syllabus of semester, they finish it in 1 week and set exams, and you have half-baked graduates. As a recruiter, which I do regularly, it's always a sad thing to see the quality of graduates that we have. City management, like a world-class construction project. That's how Singapore was managed. Their cleanliness, order, and discipline did not happen by accident. They were engineered. Meanwhile, in Nigeria, we say, maintain what? Now let's build a new one. You know, sometimes in Nigeria, you feel that the pothole has to become very big so they can award a big contract before they can fill it. Very small problems, crack, they let it become so wide. We don't have maintenance culture. The new airport in Murtala Mohammed Airport, the new wing, less than 1 year old, all the escalators are not working again. They're not working, escalators are not working. Meanwhile, if you go to Liberia, that's Monrovia, or even ordinary Sierra Leone, Ghana is even like Harvard to us. It's a shame. If you go to escalators and airport, they do bang, 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 you know, like a disaster. Meanwhile, if they tell you how much they spent in building them, you know, some Nigerian governors who build an airport at 50 billion naira, and those airports are not better than municipal airports, you know, but that's the country that we have in. So, Singapore reminds us that systems outperform talent. Systems outperform talent. And that's what our big brother here stands for. Let's look at China.
A máa wọlé sínú gáràjì bí àwọn lasfama lọ gbọ́ wa. Orí mọ́tò yìí. Ra bọ́ọ̀sì Ìbàdàn ló ń lọ. Ìgbó ròdù nìyẹn. Okay, o. Wàá sọ̀rọ̀ lálẹ́.
Primary school teachers, and we didn't know anybody. So when I counsel people with these days, I say, my parents are primary school teachers. That I didn't progress on the basis of man, no man. It was a dint of God's favor, but hard work. Hard work. Reliability. I had a client, very clean client. He bought a Rolls Royce from his business, is very clean and everything. And then he had a massive contract that required him to borrow from a bank, which he borrowed. I said, one day I went to his house, I said, Chief, you have Rolls Royce? He said, Chika, I don't want to start driving in now, because driving now, they think that there banks, the bank loan. So you have people like that, conscience. But a lot of people now, you see around, if you go to AMCON, hello, AMCON is about 4 trillion naira. There are not more than 350 Nigerians who are owing that. And who that you know. Each of them, if you go to Abuja Airport, you see that some of them have 2 private jets. And you and me will be queuing at the airport for Valand aviation. Nigeria doesn't care. This soil that I've mentioned cannot carry development. Nigeria cannot work. The practical interventions I recommend, one is a national values curriculum, primary to tertiary. Embed ethics, discipline, civic duties into schools. Children should learn punctuality. Engineer talked about it today, about, early to meetings. My wife teases me a lot of times. She says that if my flight is 4 and they manage to bring me back to 2 o'clock, I'll be the only passenger. Because I'm always on time. The older, all the Christopher Cola did them, all of them, if you invite Christopher Cola in those days to a function and it says 6 o'clock, you better be there by 6 because you'll be there by 6 o'clock. Not the one Oga said. They said it will start at 9 p.m. It's by 9 p.m. that Madam will start bathing. Finally, they will come in. And the sad thing is that they will come late to the function has started. They just come with their people and be greeting. Someone is speaking, or they be greeting. Very cringy. Punctuality, honesty, basic financial literacy. Hello, financial literacy. Most of you Nigerians are financially illiterate. You are financially illiterate. Some of you have not cared about your finances. You don't have any knowledge about managing your money. Meanwhile, abroad, they train them from their nursery school. And I would like to recommend that for you people. Those who follow me on my WhatsApp know that's what I focus on. Savings, investment, personal finance, retirement, all those things. It's for free. Because a lot of Nigerians don't do that. And people are looking for when they have billions before they start saving. No. Savings and investment can start with small, small. Community respect, maintenance culture. Singapore did this. Rwanda did this. The next one is National Integrity Scorecard. Every public officer should have a public dashboard showing asset declarations, project performance, disciplinary record. Look at this. If some of you follow the press, you would have seen Alhaji Dangote yesterday, where he was talking about his refinery and the challenge he has been having fighting the cabals. Let me summarize it for you. The Alhaji Dangote built the biggest refinery literally in the world. Forever, Nigeria has been importing petrol. And so much scandal through petrol. So this guy builds this refinery. Now, however, the civil servants who give licenses for importation are still allowing people to import petrol into Nigeria to sabotage his what? His refinery. Because of their personal interests. Now, some information he has given to me personally. The man got upset and shared it publicly yesterday and said that the head of the parastatal that's approving this importation of fuel has claimed his children is the best school in Switzerland with $5 million. And that one of his sons now is in Harvard. That we know that the Harvard. And we know the man's salary. How is he funding it? That because of the man's personal interest, he's sabotaging his what? Refinery. Local refining of petrol to save Nigeria foreign currency. A lot of the stability you see in our dollar now is due to the Dangote refinery. So in Nigeria, Nigeria. Now, we will hear from ministers who have abroad, $6 billion. Please know the minister salary. It's of state. You go to come to the state. The governor has the best hotel, the best hospital, the best this one. You know, one of the states in the south, the governor has the best hotel, the best hospital. Everything is important. The best supermarkets, everything. And we know the man's tackles. Like my father, his own father was like a teacher. You know, suddenly he's not the richest person in the whole place. Declare assets. But you see, who will make declare assets? When the referee is guilty too. Huh? When the person should check them is also, his hand is not clean. Project performance. Nigeria is filled with so many abandoned projects. You engineers should have seen the report prepared by NDDC. About 11 trillion of projects will have been abandoned. All mobilization paid. Look at the East-West Road in River State. It has been under construction for almost 20-something years. Disciplining records. The reward systems, countries change when honesty becomes profitable, when corruption becomes expensive. Reward integrity publicly and punish misconduct swiftly. That's Nigeria. The next thing I have here is use the right mix ratio. Nigeria development concrete must follow a precise technical mix. Cement is a rule of law. Without it, contracts collapse, investment dry up, criminals walk free, and development is impossible. Practical actions I recommend. Transparent judicial process. Chineke. This is a problem now, the judiciary has become a problem for us. You know, they pick and choose which cases they will, the case they know that you're going to win. systems. Strict enforcement of building codes. Very important, building codes. Where I live in Parkview, on Gerald Road, I'm sure you've heard it. You know, that, I think 10th floor, 11th floor building that some guy built. And it was about 2 minutes walk from my house, Gerald Road off my estate. And on a Sunday like this, he was there on his 11th floor, trying to inspect it. A friend of his who was going to the airport, traveling back to US, he just told the guy, the guy said, "What are you?" He said, "Oh, pass through here before on your way to the airport." The guy passed through so he can show him. From that his floor, you can see the whole Lagos. He was celebrating his house, you know, and that's how the whole building sang. You see, the funny thing is that buildings don't just collapse. I'm sure people know that. You are the expert. The columns will be telling you. You see them getting hunchback. Hello? The beams will be telling you also that something's happening here. The cracks will be appearing. But what are you doing? You are patching and patching. You know? It doesn't work that way. Property rights protection. Sand, which we use in construction, is the equivalent for me is education. Sand fills the gap in construction. Education fills the gap in national capacity. I recommend the following: total curriculum overhaul. The university system, especially the public universities, are in a mess. I have about how many 10 people on my scholarship or training, whatever. And it's always funny fees from the lecturers. Funny fees. Lecturers are demanding funny fees, funny this, funny that. Recycled old notes, photocopying this one. And suddenly we just have about 1,000 people graduating, wearing service something, graduates, thrown into the market. You know, what is 1 + 1? They tell you 10. You know? Technical and vocational schools in every state. Partner industries for apprenticeship. Teacher retraining programs. And digital literacy as a core subject. Ladies and gentlemen in this room, daddies and mommies, if your children are not doing any course that has some tangent with technology, digital, please tell them to change course. This is not the time for Yoruba and Igbo literature. Or Islamic Christian knowledge. I'm not saying the course is about, but I'm just saying that we have enough of those people. And we need people now who have skills. You know, that's what we have now. Granite, which you know in the construction, is like the infrastructure for me. Infrastructure. Granite gives strength. Infrastructure gives economic backbone. Actions, practical. A national railway spine covering all geographical zones. That you can move from one zone to another zone. You know? I used to use Abuja to Kaduna, the train, until that thing happened. And the first time I took it, I took videos and showed to all my friends internationally. And they were happy for Nigeria. You know, so train systems are very, very important. In Lagos also, we have the municipal network that is working now. 24/7 power industrial corridors. Gas to power expansion. Digital infrastructure, broadband everywhere. Hello? As you land in Monrovia, Ghana Airport, you can put on your phone and then sign into the airport Wi-Fi and tell your people, I've arrived there safely. If you land in Monrovia Airport, you can do the same thing. If you land in Longview, that's Sierra Leone, same thing. Gambia, the same thing. It's only in Nigeria when you land in Nigeria Airport. In the whole West Africa, it's only in Nigeria also that you have to pay for trolley. So you expect my brother, who has been in US for 30 years, to come back to Nigeria and have naira in his pocket? to be able to buy a tech trolley. You know? Modern ports with automation. Modern ports with automation. Do you know that our exporters, I mean, I've shouted myself hoarse on this. Our exporters move their goods by train to Benin Republic or to Togo to export than going through our ports in Lagos because it's very complex. Water is like innovation. Water gives flexibility in construction and workability. Nigeria must innovate beyond oil. Innovation hubs in every state, local manufacturing incentives, special economic zones, grants for Nigerian tech startups, R&D tax for credits. Still, in construction is for accountability. This is the difference between collapse and durability. Citizens can track budgets online. You know, there's this lady that you can hate her and like her. That is Natasha, Senator Natasha. Hello, are you hearing me, guys? She celebrated her birthday, I can't remember what age. And she had been broadcasting some things. And part of the things she had been broadcasting are so many community things she had done. You know, motorcycle for people, community centers, hospitals, and everything, markets, and everything. And I was asking her, how did you raise the money for these things? She said she didn't raise the money. That every senator is giving money to go and do this thing, constituency projects. Did people hear me? Constituency projects. That's why she used the money to do what it was meant for. But our own senators and households, what did they do? They use it to, you know, all these guys that say, I'm a small girl with a big God. If you're wondering how they fund them now, billions enter into senators on this, and they don't use it for what it's meant for. That's what the woman uses it for. No wonder they hate her so much. Citizens can track budgets online, strict project monitoring dashboards, procurement after public hearings, criminal prosecution for mismanagement, annual performance audit for governors and ministers. The next one I have, supervise the site properly. No construction survives without supervision. Nigeria's supervision is very weak. So there must be project monitoring units in every ministry. There must be tech-enabled monitoring, where citizens can type in and find out what's happening. There must be public site meetings for major projects. Every major project should have monthly public progress meetings. There should be penalties for abandonment for projects. There must be independent quality assurance teams. We must design for maintenance, not just completion. Completion is an event. Maintenance is a culture. Every government must have an asset register for all government properties. Every ministry must publish the buildings, the roads, water networks, vehicles, schools and hospitals. There must be annual maintenance budgets for every ministry. Facility management must be outsourced to engineering firms. You know, if you go to central bank, that's why some of the buildings are looking very well. If you go to Nigerian airports, the ones maintained by fan, as you're walking to the toilet, you have some people holding toilet roll. And then, as you want to use this thing, the smell there is so much. As you walk in, looking for toilet roll, they say, we'll hold it here, we'll hold it here. So they want you to come and collect toilet roll for them so they can... Preventive maintenance mandate. Just like engineers regularly check for cracks, the government must perform road resurfacing, bridge inspections. Now, look at the Kata Bridge in Lagos. Kata Bridge in Lagos is to be condemned and a new one built. Because they found out that the cost of repairing the old one is just millions below the cost of building a new one. So they're going to condemn it. Why? Maintenance. Lack of maintenance. Community co-ownership. Building for future loads. Nigeria is a rapidly growing building. If we design for yesterday, we will collapse tomorrow. We must have transport architecture for mega population. It's a major problem in Nigeria. Look at your Ibadan city here. We must do education for the future. And energy infrastructure for 250 million citizens, gas pipelines, solar mini grids, hydro expansion, and of course, one of the most important one, the food security backbone, and then workforce planning. Workforce planning. Let me share a true story. During my NYC, I visited a rural bridge project. The contractor kept saying, Oga, the bridge go stand, the bridge go stand. Or telling me, Oga, the bridge go stand, you go stand, you go stand. So I asked, have you done the load test? He said, no need. The bridge knows I be church elder. Ladies and gentlemen, faith is wonderful, but faith without design is dangerous. Likewise, as a nation, we must move from God will do it to let's do it right, and then ask God to bless it. As I close, let me close with what I call the engineer's prayer for Nigeria. As I close, permit me to honor our Reverend Sir, the man who taught us that engineering is not just about structures, it's about standards, sir. He proved that one can be deeply technical, one can be deeply ethical, and deeply spiritual at the same time. He's a reminder that a well-designed life is the most beautiful project of all. So today, as we celebrate him, I offer the engineer's prayer for Nigeria. Lord, make our leaders strong like well-reinforced columns. Give us institutions with deep foundations. Let corruption find no footing. Let accountability be our roofing sheet. And may every Nigerian rise like a completed structure, not abandoned halfway through the contract of destiny. Thank you, and God bless Reverend Engineer Ette, and God bless Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, we're back in power. So let's get into it. At this point, please do sit down. You may sit down, please. You may sit. We'll now proceed to questions and answers. And that's the session we'll have. It'll be quite brief. Maybe one or two questions. You do have a question? Just a moment, I'll come to you.
You're going to allow me to make comments. No. Okay. Well, I think as the chairman, I think I should also remark on what you have said. This gentleman has said a lot about Nigeria, about Nigerian engineers, about engineering in Nigeria. Chika, he happens to be one of the engineers that we lost to finance and banking. And I just wonder, Chika, I just wonder what you are still doing in finance. Or is it too late for you to come back to engineering? I mean, there's a lot wrong in engineering in Nigeria, in the practice of engineering in Nigeria. Too much. He's talked about so many issues. He talked about asset management. We don't manage assets. I mean, like, all those bridges that we are talking about, you talk about Qatar Bridge. I think there ought to be what we call bridge inspection engineers on a constant basis. We don't have to wait until the bridges are failing before we call people to come and repair them. You know, it's teaching time says now, we should constantly set up a body that will will inspect the bridges. So you will tell when the bridges are failing or they are not failing. The same thing with roads. You know, we like to wait until roads fail before we re-award the contract. But if you have continuous maintenance, then you save the cost of roads. You don't have to reconstruct the roads. You just maintain them periodically. I want to thank you very much for your wonderful contribution, but I want to challenge you. Are you related to Charles Mbono? I'm sorry, John Mbono. He speaks exactly like you, and I thought you are the same Mbono. I think we just admitted him into the Academy of Engineering. He's as bright as you, as critical as yourself. I will allow, as chairman, I will permit, you don't give them chance. You tell me, you have been asked to be the chairman of today's occasion. Yes. I think we will allow 3 questions. There are female engineers in Etteh. 1 question should come from a female and 2 from male. So please raise up your hand if you have any question or comment to make on the beautiful presentation which the gentleman has made. Hello? That means you have swallowed virtually everything I said. Do you agree with me that this man, you have 1 question? Yes. The moderator has a question, please.
Since quite a number of us are maybe shy to ask questions, I would ask him a few questions, just about 2, thereabout. I host a show here in Ibadan. Thank you, sir. A political show that is the newspaper review, Mondays through Fridays. It's the most listened to here in the city of Ibadan. So when you started, I felt this is something I must listen to. And the key thing here is about global systems. And you listed quite a number of global systems. Singapore with Lee Kuan Yew. He was in power for 31 years. China, Xi Jinping. He's been in power for so long, and he'll be there for so long, if God spares his life. In Rwanda, you have Paul Kagame, a one-party state just like China. He's been in power since year 2000, even before then, but as president, 25 years unbroken. The UAE is the same thing. I'm wondering, for these examples you're citing, you have a situation of benevolent dictatorship. Wouldn't this be potentially dangerous for Nigeria that is a nation that's fractured in many ways, especially when it comes to ethnicity?
Yeah.
Is it possible we push for, as we have in these places? Are you suggesting a benevolent dictatorship that is
Hello.
one-party state, as some people are already suggesting,
Well,
and maybe a head of government who will be there for 30 years, 25 years, as in the
for
example
the
you
most
shared
part,
with us today? Is that the solution for
okay. I want to ask a question
all
about
that
this.
we are facing today?
Let me-
That's my question for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I will answer this question in one or several ways. I don't know what I remembered. We had this lecturer that used to do open books exam. Open books exam. Okay, we had one that if the exam is tomorrow morning, he will come this night and solve all the questions for the exam tomorrow. If the load is on the right, the one that come in exam may be on the left. So if you can bring it down to the perpendicular, you can solve it. Yet, the pass mark does not change. The pass mark does not what? They'll say, bring any book, bring Lacombe's, bring dictionary, bring encyclopedia. You know, so I know one of them was even saying, do you need more hours? Take. Yeah, the pass mark does not what? Change. See, Nigeria has been blessed with so many leaders. And let's even start with the state governors. Like what's happening in Nigeria now. If you go around, there's a state in the east where I come from, one of the states in the east. Let me not mention them so that it wouldn't be politics. They have been ruled by a succession of governors who have had a litany of excuses or why they could not perform. Now, Aba happens to be inside that state. And for one of the governors was my classmate in secondary school. And a lot of time when I'm passing through there, I'll call him on the phone and said, I'm entering the bush, I'm coming out. Meanwhile, the road is at the center. I'm entering the bush, I'm coming out. Maybe the road is there. Why not? Excuses. He left, got another governor. That one stole the one he remained. Another one came, airport that collected money for airport that he didn't build. Excuses. And then finally, one young man comes and has transformed what? Aba. He's building roads that last. Things are happening. Are you guys following what I'm saying? Now, he's in his first 4 years. Now, after the first 4 years, there's going to be an election in 2027. Now, I think no matter the gymnastics Engr could do, it will be difficult for that guy not to win the next 4 years. Could be a total of what? 8 years. See, governance is simple if you are sincere, if you want to serve the people. For me, that's my belief. If you really want to serve the people, I gave you the example of a senator that used the money for what it's meant for. There are some people, instead of building the road that leads to their town, they would rather use a helicopter. Hello? They use a helicopter. They'll chop the money for the road and use the helicopter to land in their village. I'm saying there may be issues of benevolent things and stuff like that. But the guy who wants to do the things important for the people, hello, will do the things. If you get 8 years, a long time for you to make a transformation in your country. And it's like people say, oh, let's jettison the presidential system. Let's go to back to the system. It's not about the system. It's about what? The people.
You have
the sincerity of governance. Look at borrowing.
I know, but
we'll say,
most of you are asking for the lives in Europe, in UK, US.
Borrowing is not a bad thing.
Who is bringing it down here?
But what are you using the what? The borrowing for?
Years.
In your personal life, which what I thought about personal finance, consumption does not create weight.
Those people that are
when you borrow to consume, you don't create weight. When you borrow to create a multiplier effect, wealth comes. Are you following me, guys? The thing is, we have not had, we have been caused
yes, they won't release
leadership.
it. They're just coming.
We have been. And you look at some of the states. Okay, now, listen.
The system,
We ask
like
the president now,
you are paying
what are you doing with the savings from the first subsidy? Answer is what?
What I told you about
Give
my
it to what?
daughter.
The governors. Are you following me? Every day, open the papers. They will tell you that the governors have more money than ever had.
That's finished the section.
Yet,
the phone was released.
A lot of state governors
Now
are
use that
going
money
to
to
just
pay for
salary.
another section.
Their own pensioners. No. What conscience? I mean, don't they have conscience? No, that's the point. See, so bro, so it's not about dictator or whatever. It is the heart of the person. I mean, the hospital that our number one president died is London Clinic. It happens to be at Ordinary Citizen. That's the hospital I go to. I remember the week or 2 weeks after he died, I was at the hospital. I saw one other big man in the government there. There. Now, if you're following the press, yeah, you would have seen that somebody had been flown abroad. Yet, all the budgets for the hospitals, they cannot build what? Bro, I agree with you. Longevity may be important, but like my examiners used to say, if you open book, whether you read, if you don't read, you will not pass it. You don't have the love for the people, the fear of God. If they give you 1 century, you will not make any change. It's not about the governance style. It's about the people who are in leadership. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay.
You have one question, and one question, one there, one here, and one there. Very short question.
Thank you very much. I bow for Chief because, like the chairman said, I also was mentored by Chief. I spent my early years at Etteh and Partners, and those gentlemen are jolly good fellows and very brilliant engineers. Very committed Nigerians and very great risk takers. Now, the lecture that we've got today is fantastic. Thank you, Chika. It's a mixture of all. It just indicates that corruption has become endemic in our nation. It has gone through the fabrics completely unbridled. Indeed, what can change it is what we must be thinking about. But we are in very good position, we Nigerian engineers. Corruption, the whole world through, is most manifested in capital infrastructure work. Engineering is manifest mostly in engineering. Most people that take what does not belong to them from the peoples of their country take it through the works, the big projects, big contracts. Now, if we talk to them, we may be working against the wall. We may be hitting against the wall. But if we practice our profession in the best way that we should, we can prevent a lot of this. Because nobody can sign a paper that you are supposed to sign if you do not sign it. So I think we need to become more loyal to the profession than to the people who will be breathing down on us. It's difficult. Again, that's number one. Number two, because people like Chika, they abandoned ship. They abandoned ship. And we are just seeing them now. But we thank God for them because they also were leaders. They are leaders where they went to. Well, there is something else. Risk-taking. Chief, sir, I doff my hat for you, sir, because these were the first very big risk-taking engineers in Nigeria. To set up a company, a consulting company at that time with Europe and Partners in Practice and all the British and American companies around Nigeria, they are risk takers. And they must, please, let's give him a round of applause. So, what the lecture indicates to me is this: where are the Nigerian engineers? Please get out, take the risk, and do what you need to do. If we do our own in a little way, we'll be moving towards a greater Nigeria. Thank you very much. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much, sir. We'll be taking a few more questions. In the interest of time, keep it brief.
Thank you very much. Good morning or good afternoon to the audience. My name is Ette Osai. I am a non-biological daughter of Reverend Engineer Ette. And I'm excited to be part of today's program and to witness this milestone celebration. Throughout our life, his very private, his public, and his professional life has shaped many of us into becoming who we are today. So, Uncle, I'm glad to be here. I'm also very excited about your lecture, sir. It was powerful, it was relatable, it was very visual. We've watched you on TV, so it's an honor to see you live and direct. I will draw on your engineering metaphor that you've used, you've cited your lecture around today. My question is very simple. I'll try to keep it brief. That whole part was not part of the question. So, Peter Ette, in his very seminal, lecture, I think 1975, gave us a theory that kind of helps us understand Nigeria's complexity. He gave us the theory of the two publics. And what he was explaining is that, the post-colonial Nigeria is an artificial creation from which many of us don't draw our moral obligations. That the primordial public, and there's a distinction between that and the civic public. And he said many of us have an affinity for our primordial public, which is where our families are from, our ethnic origins, and so we show a lot of moral obligation there. There's integrity there, there's compliance, there's honor, there's responsibility. But when it comes to our civic, interactions with the modern state called Nigeria, it's contractual, and we feel this sense of being able to step in and out of it, without any remorse whatsoever. Using this, your engineering metaphor and analogy, sir, my question is this. If the foundation, I know there are many buildings that you as engineers, when you study the foundation, your prognosis is this building must be brought down and has to be collapsed. I want you to give us your keen, insightful prognosis of the Nigerian complexity today. Is this a conundrum that we can grow from the superstructure? Or is this a very complex situation that let's just tell ourselves the truth, let's collapse it and rebuild from the beginning? What is your and I know that this takes us into very contentious issues, philosophically, ideologically, whatnot. But this is a real question that bothers me every day, sir. Can we progress from where we are, or do we splinter, fragment, and rebuild? Thank you, sir.
So we'll hold on to that question. I'll take one more question from this end, and it will address both.
Good afternoon, distinguished elders, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Lukman Assis by name, head of Geotechnics Unit, Etteh Partners. Yeah, thank you, sir, for the wonderful and impactful presentation. Yeah, through your presentation, you mentioned the fact that you rested your building at a park view on a deep foundation, rather than a raft that your neighbor put your building on. You agree with me that geotechnics is an area where Tom, Dick, and Harry have come to play in Nigeria. My question is, what strategy can we or government put in place to ensure that the right people, the core professionals, are given geotechnics job to handle? Because of the fact that if proposals roll out differently, clients, they don't understand. They go for the cheaper rather than the quality deliverables. So what strategy can we put in place to orientate or to educate clients so that the needful will be done to prevent future collapse, so that sustainability is going to be the order of the day when it comes to the built environment? Thank you.
I'm wondering if he's wondering also if you'll pay for consultancy for that question. But let's see what he says to this.
Okay, let me, I told you I don't do politics, sister. I don't do politics, but I will answer generally. When the foundation is weak, it's not only always bring it down, we can shore it up. can only shore up the foundation. So the only solution is not just to bring it down. We can also strap it and shore it up. You see, there's a reason why Nigeria is there's a center, then 36 states, and then 774 local government areas. Now, I don't even care who rules. What we want is power to work. Let that be security, health, and all those basic things, to work. And to, shield us from the politics of the center, states have been created. To shield it further, local governments have been what? Created. And they've done in such a way that there's a national government and there's sub-national governments. So what you cannot have in the center, you can have it in your state, or you have it in your local government. But you see, as I said here today, what we'll see is some states have been blessed with governors who are e-governors. Some states have been blessed by charlatans. And then, as I told you, if you go and look at the trial of ex-governors, those who testify include Bureau de Change people. Because most of them, when they get the FAC allocation, what do? They change it to dollars. Instead of developing the states. That's why even, I think it was Buhari that said it that time, that said that you can't understand how governors sleep and eat when pensioners are being owed. There's a heartlessness involved in some of the governance structures that we have. I'm saying that it's not about the big Nigeria. It's about the sum of the parts. Getting your local government right, getting your state right, and so on and so forth. And one of the things I've said consistently, sister, is that the day Nigeria will change is the day your votes will count. Are you following me? The day your votes will count. Because why is suddenly every person wants to belong to the same one party? Why? Because in Nigeria, elections are won by knowing the INEC person, police commissioner, and GOC commander. So you see a performing governor. How is it that citizens in a state that see the governor that the roads were bad before, it transformed the roads? They used to go to the stream to fetch water. They now have pipe bomb water. There used to be high infant mortality and pregnancy deaths. Women are delivering whatever. But it's the minority party. How is it that in a free and fair election, the citizens will not vote for the person again? And yet, to safeguard himself, that governor must leave that party and go to another party. It can only be because of what? Our votes are not what? Counting. That's what it is. You don't require an analyst. So I'm not one for the crashing the plane. That's not what it is. The issue is where you find yourself, local government, governors. Let's hold people accountable. Sure, it's Natasha that is doing this, her senator. Do you get now? She opened the eyes for a lot of people. People were saying, don't talk. You're exposing other senators. So they say, and mind you, a lot of her own projects were cancelled because they didn't like her. So you can imagine how much other people are getting. And have been getting, some people have been in that house for about 10 years. You can imagine how much they've been getting. Yet they don't do anything about it. So for me, that's what it is. Holding people accountable. Okay? For me, that's what it is. For my friend that asked something about foundation, Abby. Hello? You have something about foundation engineering and having people in the right place. Well, I just wish that you're on my street. you would have seen it live. Because everybody, those who had done finish their design, abandoned their design and adopted my rough, my pile foundation. Because when they saw when we were tracking the piles, each time you hit the piles, the first 5 meters is a compacted surface. Okay, there's some resistance when you're hitting the head of the pile. And then the pile goes. Once it breaks through the 5 meters, what you hear is fuel, the pile will disappear. Because the next 30 meters is something like or that's water. Before it hits the hard rock. And so all my neighbors were doing like this. So all the people who are not built actually saw. And those who built suffered it. Because each time there's rain, water comes from under and takes over their ground floor. And that's how they demolished it. We must continue to educate clients. And these days, it's even easier with digital technology. Play things back for them. Show them how things play. And a lot of clients will adopt it. Continue to educate clients. The consequences of failure or correcting mistakes is sometimes more expensive than correcting it from beginning. So education and education of your clients. Continue to educate your clients and let them understand the consequences of mistakes, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have about 13 more minutes before we end this session and move to the book launch. However, I'll be taking one more question from, that's the representative of the national chairman of the NIC.
Thank you very much. And of course, at our guest lecturer, you've done a very wonderful job. Engineers are always very brilliant, and whenever they go to any other section, they do so well. So I'm actually not surprised. I'm learning today that you're even a civil engineer, one of us. And the lecture, very wonderful one. The terminology of using civil engineering and describing what you want to do, what you're saying is really just wonderful for the audience. My question is a finance one, because you're a financial aspect. It should be more like your opinion, because I'm not sure, you may not have the direct answer, but you have your opinion for it. It's about the tax laws that's coming in, and how everybody will be now captured in payment of tax. Of course, payment of tax is a civic responsibility for everybody, and it's very good. But I'm sure the people that will be most affected will be those in the informal sector, because most corporate organizations have been used to paying tax. Now that the market woman, the woman selling under the umbrella, or Okada ride, everybody's going to pay tax. Maybe we'll say one of their benefits all this while is that they don't pay tax. But now everybody's going to pay tax. How will Nigerians also hold the government accountable for this? Because this becomes very important. When you are giving the lecture, the light went off, and it's like, if the light didn't go off, it would be unusual. Now that everybody's going to be paying tax, what are they going to benefit to help them improve in the little businesses they're doing? Thank you.
You're asking CBN Governor or Minister of Are you asking the CBN Governor or Minister of Finance? Okay, we'll have a few minutes remaining. Let me just say one or two things about the tax. All right? One or two things about the tax. I mean, since the announcement of the tax, new tax acts, effective 2026 January, Nigerians have been asking questions such as, is the government trying to finish us? Is this another way to punish the middle class? Should I close my account and start collecting cash? Let me first assure you that nobody is sending EFCC to your house this afternoon. But yes, things are changing. Things are changing. Why is government doing this now? Let's be frank. Nigeria has a population of 200 million people, but we very huge infrastructure deficits, expensive governance, limited oil revenue, and citizens who love roads but health tolls. We want good roads, stable power, functional rail, airports that don't embarrass us, but also want to pay low tax, no enforcement, and government should manage. Even in engineering, we will say that the equation does not balance. It does not balance. You cannot design a bridge that carries 100 tons with materials paid for by 10 tons only. Why are we afraid? We don't trust the government spending. We fear multiple taxation. We fear sudden enforcement. They fear that one letter will arrive with 7 penalties attached. The fear is real. The fear is real. But what is really changing under the new tax acts is what I call digital traceability. Digital traceability. It means that the big brother has a calculator now. Let me say this gently. Government have finally realized something engineers already know. If you cannot measure it, you can't manage it. So now, BVN, your BVN is talking to your NIN, your NIN. Your NIN is talking to your Corporate Affairs Commission documents. Your Corporate Affairs Commission is talking to your banks. And banks are talking to tax authorities. So very soon, your income story must be consistent across all platforms. If your bank account says one thing and your tax return says something else, the system will politely clear his throat and say something is wrong. I'm not registered is no longer a defense. In the old Nigeria, I'm not registered meant I don't exist. But in the new Nigeria, you are not registered means you're overdue. If money passes through your bank, POS, payment platform, it leaves footprints always, like concrete before it sets. Professionals, yes, but this includes engineers. My fellow engineers, please don't look at your neighbor. Consulting fees, designing fees, project management fees, variation claims, mobilization advances, all these things now have better visibility. And no, this is not witchcraft. It is just pure data. Small businesses have some reliefs, but some reality. Micro business have thresholds. Government is not chasing the woman selling akara. Better news, once your business grows, your responsibility grows. Bad news, I did not know it's no longer an acceptable engineering defense or tax defense. So what does the government expect from you and me? Government is not just asking for miracles. Just register, declare, pay what is due, keep your records, file your returns. That is it. No sacrifice, no night vigils. What should you do now? Organize your finances. Separate your personal account from your business account. When everything is in one account, even your accountant will be confused, not to talk of government. Regularize your account before enforcement recognizes you in Nigeria. Voluntary compliance is cheaper than forced obedience. Once enforcement starts, suddenly interest appears, penalties multiply, and deadlines become yesterday. Stop taking tax advice from your WhatsApp groups. Please. Please, if the message starts with breaking 4 to 10 people, it is not tax advice. Talk to professionals, practitioners, people whose certificates are not motivational quotes. But why do you pay tax at all? This is the philosophical part. Yes, government disappoints. I'm answering your question now, sir. Government disappoints. Projects fail. Budgets leak. But history shows that countries don't improve because because citizens refuse to pay tax. They improve because citizens pay and then demand performance. Hello? Citizens pay and then demand what? Performance. You cannot inspect a project you don't fund. Engineers know this. If you don't pour concrete, you have no moral authority to complain about cracks. Thank you.
Once again, a warm round of applause for our guest lecturer today. He's done so much for us. Talking about blueprints of progress, what Nigeria can learn from global systems and leadership. If you look at the sequence of events that we have, the next item should be remark by the celebrant. But if you also pay close attention to what we have later on, there is the book launch, after which you have the book sale and Reverend Etteh's speech. So we'll have that put together. So during that time, he will give his remarks and, of course, his speech. So he'll do it once and for all. Also, we'll have a 5-minute breather, not right now. We'll have a 5-minute breather before the book launch. But before we get to that, we'll be taking the goodwill messages. And I'll be calling on 2 distinguished individuals for this particular assignment. That is the past president, NSE, Engineer Chief Olumuyiwa Alade Ajibola, FNSE, FNICE, to come forward. A round of applause for him. And right after him, we'll have Engineer Mrs. Adetiba. She is the 11th president of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. She'll also be giving a goodwill message.
Thank you very much. Today is a very beautiful day to be with our chief, to celebrate with him. Just be careful, don't go and call chief in the wrong place. Our chief is engineering chief, and is the chief of all engineers, as we know now. Even with his age, at his age, he has gotten that appellation since he was young, because he's a super engineer. Papa, we appreciate you, sir. We appreciate you. I want to say that I just walked into their office when I returned from England in 1974. And I saw a beautiful engineering office. And it was all Nigerians. And I said, wow, this is what I've been thinking about, that we will be having Nigerians making incursion into the consulting engineering field. And this is the firm that I'm in now. I just spoke with them, and they bought my, whatever I was saying. I couldn't believe it, that as Nigerians, immediately I presented my credentials and everything. They said, well, do you want to work? Can you go to Calabar to work? I said, yes. And there I was in Calabar, working on the highway bypass in Calabar, courtesy of Chief. And everything in Calabar was made good for me, because the office was, there was a private accommodation where I was housed and fed, and everything was running very smoothly. I thought to myself, these are great Nigerians. And I committed my whole system to making that company even better. With their cooperation, with my, I think, probably sometimes very youthful ideas, they managed to, to work according to what I wanted to achieve. And together, the company moved much further. They never were resistant of good ideas. Indeed, they themselves will come with super ideas. At that time, even projects that were not commissioned, they were dreaming projects of, and trying to see that engineering can work better in the country. They also made sure that all the staff got what Chika said we needed: knowledge. By sending most of the engineers overseas for masters, either in highways or bridges or structures. Oh, it was a wonderful time. They really spent time trying to develop engineering in Nigeria as well as Nigerian engineers. Chief was a great mentor, and today is still mentoring me in so many other ways. Now is mentoring us in the way of Christ. May God bless your work, sir, continuously. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. You will live longer. We always love to see you, and we're always happy when we see you. May your legacy live so much long. Even while you are still around, you will be around for a long time. We will enjoy your life. You will enjoy life with us for a long time. Thank you for bringing smiles to the faces of many Nigerian engineers. God bless you and your families, sir. Thank you.
And of course, one more goodwill message which will be taken from Engineer Mrs. Adetiba, the 11th President, Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria. Please, a warm round of applause for her as she joins us on stage.
My dearest uncle, I'm sure most engineers are not aware that I am related to Engineer Ette. We come from the same larger family of Esinseko in Ibno. The guest speaker here, the senior engineers, junior engineers, and of course, someone I call my wifey, Engineers Ette, Engineers Elizabeth Ette, and I can see the young old lady now, because I'm sure I came to her wedding a couple of years ago, quite some time now, you know, and all our special guests. I want to say one or two things about my uncle. If most of you know, or if you are not so inclined, I am very terrified driving our roads these days because of what is going on. And my daughter was particularly worried that I was going to go on the roads this time. I said, no, I'm going by train. He said, Mommy, it doesn't matter. I said, no, my uncle does not spare the hardship of taking any kind of steps to be there for us. I must be there for him today. And that is the very reason why I am here today. I am one of the founders of NICE so many years ago. And as it was mentioned earlier on, I'm past president of the Association of Consulting Engineers in Nigeria. And I'm very glad to be here. And I'll be here tomorrow. I wanted to get my ticket back to Lagos by train, and I was told the 4 o'clock train will not get into Lagos until about 6:37, and I have a 7 o'clock flight to Akwa Ibom tomorrow. But I said I must be here for my uncle because he's always been there for us. My dad, the author of Aquino Accord that set up the Nigerian Labour Congress, died in 1978. And time we needed one of our family members here to speak on our behalf at weddings, that concerns us, the first person we think about is my uncle, Engineer Ette. When my daughter, Kemi Adetiba, did a traditional wedding, we were looking for him because he was supposed to have he was supposed to have spoken. I don't know, he was at that time out of the country and we just couldn't get him. He's quite reliable and very jovial. I was just saying, I say to Maine, David West, I say, have you noticed that Engineer Ette doesn't have one single wrinkle on his face? Please, whenever you see him, take a look at him. Congratulations, sir. I think it's the genes. Because most of them in the Etteh family, I don't believe they have wrinkles at all. I see my other cousin, Engr, at the back. She has no wrinkles as well. And I think we are about age mate. But it's lovely to be here. And when I came back from US, I think it was after my master's first degree master's from Columbia and Cornell, I wanted very badly to work with Engineer Ette. Unfortunately, he was in Ibadan, and I wanted to remain in Lagos. I'm a Lagos person, I'm a New Yorker, so nothing could take me to where I felt was too slow for me. We kept on talking, and he said, oh, I wish you could come to Ibadan. The partner in Lagos said I should tarry a while, but I think I was in a hurry, and my late dad got me something to do with the late Chief Faje Mirokun, his friend. But I really regretted that because I badly wanted to work with him, because I believe I would have gained a lot. Not that I didn't gain enough. After working for Faje Mirokun, I worked for DHV, which is a Dutch consulting engineering firm. I want to say thank you for always being there for me and my family. When I say my family, I'm talking about the Eshet's family. And I appreciate what you because you must be there as the head of the family. Thank you so very much to everybody for coming. And I want to say, you will live to be 120 at least, sir. Amen. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Ma, for your goodwill speech. And right about now, we'll be taking a 5-minute break. After the 5-minute break, we'll be converging again for the book review. So stretch your legs, meet with people, drink some water. We have some biscuits. Enjoy the biscuits. In 5 minutes, we'll kick off the book review. Thank you.
shake to the groove. Oh, yes you do, girl. It's been so long since we've had a night together. I miss you when I get through loving you, girl. Fire and desire will burn in you forevermore. Rock me tonight for old time's sake, baby.
We have about 1 more minute left. 1 more minute. 60 seconds.
Give me strength when I start to worry, chilling me down when I start to hurry, filling me up with love and affection. When I'm in danger, you're my protection. And I am the one you can depend upon. I'll always treat you right, never do you wrong. Just feel this love burn inside of me. It's gonna last for eternity. Sometimes you're afraid I won't be there for you, but through it all, I'll always cherish you. You are my angel sent down from heaven, and I'll make sure you'll never be through. Baby, I need you. Yes, I do. And when I die, I keep on living. You'll always have my love, seeing you through. I'll be your angel up in heaven forever. Oh, I shine down on you. Baby, I love you. Baby, I need you. Yes, I do. Girl, you got someone you can believe in. No one can take away what we're feeling. When love is strong, it goes on forever. No one will ever love you better. And when I'm gone, I'll still be true to you. The seed of love lives inside of you. I'll be your angel up there.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can you make your way back to your seat? Can you kindly make your way back to your seat so we can begin this next session and wrap it up as quickly as possible? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, can you kindly make your way to your seat so we can begin this session promptly and we can go home as soon as possible. There's so much for us to do in this second session. It will be important that we stick to time and we execute it properly. Thank you. May we kindly take our seats as we prepare to commence this second session. May we kindly take our seats as we prepare to commence the book launch. And if I do recall well, the chairman of the occasion talked about time, how we should keep to time. It is in this interest that we're asking that we take our seats so we can commence the next session. And if you have friends outside, you might want to drop them a quick text so they can join us inside. In about 2 minutes, we'll kick off. 2 minutes, we'll kick off. That will be exactly 2:11. 2 minutes will be exactly 2:11 on the clock. Mr. Sam, some soft music real quick.
And when I die, I keep on living. You'll always have my love, seeing you through. I'll be your angel up in heaven. Forever, all my love will shine down on you.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are about to kick off the book launch. Please do sit down. Please, how else do I say please? Edakun, what other language? Those are the two languages I understand. Those are the two languages I understand. So can we make our way to our seat while we begin the book launch? Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would like to call forward the publisher, and that will be Mrs. Adejoke Oyekon from Purple Bloom Publishers. Mrs. Adejoke Oyekon, can you kindly come forward? That is the book publisher for the welcome remark. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, engineers, civil engineers, please, can you kindly make your way to your seat so we can begin this session? Make it as snappy as possible in the interest of time. Thank you so much. Of course, a warm welcome, please. A warm round of applause at the book publisher, that is Mrs. Adejoke Oyekon. Please come forward.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually a profound pleasure and honor to welcome you to this significant occasion and the official book launch of Christ, the Greatest Connector, written by engineer Ette Ette. My name is Adejoke Oyekon. I am the creative director of Purple Bloom Publishers. And on behalf of the author and Ette and Partners, I welcome you to this book launch segment. On that note, I would like to continue. As we formally commence this ceremony, I want to express my heartfelt appreciation to the author and his wife. Committing to writing a book is an immense task, but choosing the right partner to bring that vision to the world is an act of trust. And we at Purple Bloom Publishers, we are privileged to be chosen to bring his dreams to life. And we are truly grateful for that. Thank you, Ma. Thank you, sir. To all our esteemed guests, thank you for taking the time to celebrate this milestone with engineer Ette. We have intentionally, I will say that again, we have intentionally, with the author, crafted an engaging book. And we are here to launch the book today, designed to provide a compelling glimpse into the book. We have a book reading that will truly bring the book to life and so much more. So just have to wait for it. We have someone that will be coming up to read an excerpt from the book. And I am confident that after you will be eager to secure your copy of the book before leaving. So please sit back, relax, and allow us to guide you through an afternoon dedicated to celebrating the life and legacy and the message of this distinguished man. On that note, I want to welcome you to the official launch of the book written by Engineer Ette, and that is the book we'll be unveiling today, Christ the Greatest Connector. Thank you.
A warm round of applause for her, please. And also, while you're still clapping for her, I'll be calling forward a daughter to the man we are celebrating today, Mrs. Nkakwe Lisk Kari, for the book reading. A warm round of applause for her also.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my utmost pleasure to read an excerpt for you from my father's book, Christ the Greatest Connector, a builder's story of faith and legacy. So I'm reading from chapter 2 about my father's primary and secondary school years. The heading is St. Patrick's Primary School, Ifeayong. I began my formal education at St. Patrick's Primary School, Ifeayong. Back then, education was both a privilege and a duty. From a young age, I understood it was the key to a brighter future. One, my parents were determined to provide for me despite their challenges. My father, strict but loving, instilled discipline, while my mother, with quiet strength, taught me the importance of hard work. They both believed deeply in the value of education, a belief reinforced by the positive changes the Ibano people had experienced through institutions such as the Kwaibo Mission in Upenekang, our hometown. As a child, I was full of mischief and energy, always running about, causing trouble, and getting into playful antics. I was rarely still. I climbed trees, explored, and played with friends. Until dusk. Life was vibrant then. The women's calls, the children's laughter, and rustling leaves as we dashed through the bushes. But school felt like another world entirely. School was where my spirit felt confined, especially during my primary school years. I still remember the school bell ringing, calling us into classrooms where we learned to read, write, and most importantly, think critically about the world around us. Those foundational years prepared me for the journey ahead. I dreaded school, not because I disliked learning, but because of the harsh discipline for even the smallest mistakes. Teachers ruled with iron hands. Punishment was almost a subject on its own. One of the most feared punishments involved periwinkle shells. If you came late to school, the teachers wouldn't just scold you, they would spread the sharp, jagged periwinkle shells along a path and force you to walk on your knees, sometimes for what felt like an eternity. The pain from those shells digging into my knees, coupled with the humiliation of crawling before my peers, terrified me. Each morning, I woke up with a knot in my stomach at the thought of punishment. Many times I feigned illness, hoping my mother would take pity and let me stay home. I'd clutch my stomach, groaning dramatically, and tell her, I'm not feeling well. But my mother was not easily deceived. She would look at me skeptically and say, "You're not sick, you just don't want to go to school." And mothers of those days had a trusty remedy for everything: the enema. Before I knew it, she would prepare it and administer it, ensuring I was cleansed, both inside and out. After all that, there was no escaping school. Once the ordeal was over, my mother would march me to school herself, her grip around my wrist, ensuring there was no escape. I dragged my feet the entire way, dreading what the day might bring. Yet, despite the fear and the discipline, I survived those years. It was only in secondary school that my relationship with education began to change. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And of course, at this time, I'll be calling on a brother to the man we're celebrating for the book review, Professor Ette. Please, a warm round of applause for him.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. It's really a privilege and an honor to do this. So I stand on existing protocol. The book is about a man of humble beginnings. Of course, you already heard some lines there about our parents. And what is interesting is where he was born, on the sea. And our mom being a trained midwife and pretty bold enough to self-deliver. And so that you read in the book meant a whole lot. It seems like his birth on the sea was connected to his purpose, part of which was engineering. And so not only just engineering, but engineering that meant designing bridges across rivers and bridges across ethnic lines. You've heard the story about Ife and Howater. Interestingly, I went to a different school, which we didn't have to go on periwinkle shells. So that was pretty interesting. Now, Howater was a place that things changed for him. He gave his life to Christ in Howater and made a covenant with God to make him a good engineer. You see, because God is a God of purpose, design and objectivity. He carefully designed him by purpose for a purpose, and that was to be an engineer, to do what? To be a blessing to others. That is something we all need to know, that you are not who you are just for yourself, but God has made you who you are to be a blessing to others. And you read in the book that really is his life purpose. After school, Howater high school certificate, where he actually, in Hawaii, he made a vow to God: make me a good engineer, and I will be a Presbyterian minister without pay. Of course, God, who is a prayer answering God, heard and answered. Never pray if you don't want God to answer. Amen? So God answered his prayer and made him a good engineer. And not just a good engineer, an excellent one, as we have learned today. And I would say a quintessential one. Of course, what happened is that he didn't keep his own part of the bargain. Solomon says, when you go to the house of God, be quiet to listen. Don't make a vow. If you make a vow, pay it. So he made the vow. God did his part. You see, a vow is like buying something on credit, and then you pay back later. So God gave him what he asked for and more because he is a too much God. And then, of course, as you will find in the book, he did not keep his own side of the vow until much later. And I thank God he did. We've also heard during the first part of this meeting how he and Arrow formed Etteh and company, and partners rather. Of course, one thing that stands clear is that they demonstrated through the formation of Etteh and thereafter that Nigerians can make a difference in engineering. And I like the talk that was given earlier, and I wish that our government would actually take that seriously. You'll find in the book that he understood early in life that success is not what you have accomplished because of what people said. It is accomplishing what God has put you here to do. In other words, you become a success by meeting God's standards for your life, as opposed to what people define success to be. And you are not a success if what you've done is what people say you should do, as opposed to what God has put you here to do and make a difference. And we can all attest to, and of course, you'll find in the book that is a difference maker. It's made a difference in the lives of people, not just in engineering, but in the lives of people. In terms of engineering, he connected with God. And I must say that I learned from him that the best way to do your work excellently is to connect with God. Ask God for solutions. And when he gives you the solutions, nobody can argue with it. And again, thank you for sharing that with me when I was doing my doctorate. It really makes a difference. God is the one who made Reverend Engineer Ette who he is, and his autobiography tells us that. And the other points about his life is that his success has been as a consequence of his obedience to purpose, God's purpose for his life. And because of that, God has blessed him with inventions in designs that, in fact, as you read in the book, some things he came up with, or God gave him to manifest, were not even in the books. That it was way ahead of people in the Western world. That tells us that if we connect with Christ, the greatest connector, that he will download into you the very things he prepackaged for you so that you can become what he has ordained for you to be. He is living a legacy. He's a living legacy, and he's continue to live a legacy, not just in engineering, but in the lives he's touched. As you'll find in the book, it makes it clear that his purpose really is to touch lives, make a difference in people's lives. And I believe that according to Isaiah 58:7, this holds for what his life is all about. He says, share your food with the hungry and give shelter to the homeless. Give clothes to those who need them. And do not hide from relatives who need your help. Do not hide from relatives who need your help. In addition, he's not weary in well-doing. And because he knows that God is our rewarder. He firmly believes that God has blessed him so that he can in turn bless others. This is a virtue worth emulating because it is a godly principle. Reverend Engineer Ette believes that helping others is his purpose. This, of course, ties in with why God made him an excellent engineer for his glory. Now, the book, I think, would not be complete if we don't mention his wife. And The one line I want to say here is that behind every successful man is a virtuous woman. Not just a woman, a virtuous woman. And if you read Proverbs 31, it says, "Our husband is known in the public arena." And that is true. Of course, his children and grandchildren are his pride. One other fact you learn from the book is diligence, resilience, and persistence. He is resilient in pursuing a solution to an engineering problem. And when he's doing that, he's talking to God. And God downloads the solution. Now, if you want to know how to excel, as you read in the book, connect with Jesus, because he's the greatest connector. He will now allow God to download into you the solutions you need to make a difference in your field. You are not enough, or you're not where you're supposed to be, as you learn in the book, by just doing the very things, well, I learned it in school. But as you read in the book, he challenges you to connect with the Creator, connect with our Lord Jesus Christ, because when you do, you will find that your ability is multiplied 100 times. And Reverend Etteh's life is that of submission to God, the one who has made the important difference in his life. You see, he had to finally keep the bargain with God, the vow. God did his own, he had to do his own. And that made all the difference. His advice, and mine too, to everyone who reads this book is this: surrender your life to Christ. Make him the Lord of your life. He connects you to God, the Creator, who will make you become all that He created you to be. This book is about a man who has been transformed by the Spirit of God, who has made a difference in his life and made him a difference maker in people's lives. He's impacted my life as my senior brother, and I believe that the book, when you read it, it will impact your life too. Don't just read it. Connect with Christ, the greatest connector, because that, I'm telling you, will be the best thing that happened to you by showing up to it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and we really do appreciate that book review. At this time, of course, we'll be turning to the next thing on our agenda, and that will be for me to call forward the ghostwriter. But before I call him, I need to acknowledge someone who joined us earlier in the program today. That's the past chairman, NSE Ibadan branch, retired permanent secretary, Oyo State Ministry of Public Works and Transport, Engineer Olayinka Ali, FNSE. A round of applause for him, please, and thank you for joining us. Of course, it's about time I call on the book, The Ghostwriter, for a short talk, and he's no other than Dr. Kayode Adejumo Bello. Please, a warm round of applause for him, Dr. Kayode Adejumo Bello, for a short talk. Soon enough, of course, we'll be having the lunch proper, so sit back, relax, it'll be time I call on you.
Good afternoon, daddies, mommies, uncles, aunties, friends, and brothers. My name, as introduced, remains Dr. Kayode Adejumo Bello. I am a professional biographer and a memoirist, and I will seek the indulgence of Daddy and the audience to use the first line I'm going to use, which is, when God told me to go and begin to write people's biographies, I am sure people like him will be one of the reasons why God told me to go into that profession. I know we know people write, great writers, people do literature, fiction, and stuff. I studied theater arts at the University of Ibadan, so naturally I should be a good writer, but beyond that, I have a calling to do biographies, because great people like Reverend Ette, in our climb don't document their stories, and it's a loss on our civilization. I have the feeling and the calling that high time we begin to celebrate our very best. And I used to tell the people, you do not have to be a billionaire before your story is worthy of a celebration. You do not have to have lived for 90 years before we can celebrate you. You only have to have lived. Every person has a story. My mother sent me to the university selling akara. That's a story, and it is published. Back to where we are. When I met the great engineer, I got a lot of my definitions tinkered with. I had thought that to be a big man, meeting engineer Ette, I was going to meet a big man. But when I met him, I discovered a new meaning of bigness. I discovered a new meaning of philanthropy. I think you can only give what you have. I can tell you. And you'll find it in the book. The engineer actually gave much more than he has. He actually gave what he did not get. You read in the book that he was sponsored to do his master's when he was with Engr. But the truth is he had to pay back. They had to work, himself and his brother of blessed memory, Engineer Aro, had to over time pay that money back. But he has been sending people to do masters abroad under Etteh Aro, but he doesn't collect his money back. And I'll break this down. Please, a round of applause for him. I'll go a little to tell you this. It is not that he's pulling 20,000 pounds, which is the average cost, from a pool of 1 million pounds. No. Most times, he will just write a check, believing somehow, the money will be there before it was needed. That for me is giving. He was not giving because it was convenient. He was giving because he needed and he knew that I had to create engineers to build this nation. I will tell you from the book also that that's coming from his experience of the Civil War, the Nigerian Civil War. There indeed was a need to bring on board experts and professionals who can build or rebuild the nation. Moving on, I must talk to you about his faith and his Christian life. When he was in secondary school, apart from the influence of the great missioner, who his mom took him to, missionary Samuel Beale, when he was in HSC, he read a book. The book is titled, Why Am I a Christian? And he was not yet a Christian, quote and unquote, then. But he told us in that book that reading the book, the atmosphere of his room changed. It was like the Holy Spirit came into the room. And then he knelt down and said the sinner's prayers, which was attached to that book. There was the beginning of his walk with his Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which is the definition of his life. He told me that he then had a dream the same night. Jesus, or that representation, came to him, and there was a discussion. There was a celebration in heaven. And then he said unto God, if you will make me pass my HSC exams, and you make me a good engineer, then I will serve you with my life. I will work as a priest without pay. That was covenant, and that was the definition of his entire life. Let me tell you a story of faith before I round off. One day he was traveling on the highway, and like we all do, he bought some snails for the family to cook and eat. When they got to the house, it was already late, so they had to put the snail somewhere and cover them. Lo and behold, by the following morning, the snails had all walked away. Now, ask me, they were covered. Ask me, there was a stone on the covering.
and then asked me, how did they escape? Somehow, they were able to get all the snails, each and every one of them. And I said, Baba, I hope you threw them away. He said, no. I told them I'm a minister of the gospel. Your influence negative cannot work in my house. And I said, what did you do? He said, we ate the snail. Please, a round of applause for that act of faith. If it was me, I will not eat the snails. Finally, as I round off, we asked Baba, let us call this book something engineering. Let us talk about building bridges. Let us talk about building to last. He insisted the book has to be about Jesus Christ, who has been his helper, who has lifted him beyond his dreams. Ladies and gentlemen, please, you will find some questions that were not answered in the book. By now, you know Baba is a strong-willed person. And then I round off by saying that write your own stories, because other people will not write it the way you would have loved to write it. The biggest minus about Africa is that the foreigners are writing our stories. If you don't like what they are writing about us, then just think about you not writing your own story. Someone else will write it for you, and you may not like what they will write. Let us, as we go, also think about Baba in this line. Friendship connection. His friendship with Arogundade, his partner and late friend, defined a lot of things about his life. I wish I met Arogundade, Arokodare. Thank you very much. But I didn't. But the much that is in that book gave me a graphic picture of who that great soul was. May the peace of the Lord continue to rest him and be with his family. Thank you all for coming. I recommend that book to you. You will love it. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you so much for that brief speech. And this is the moment we've all been waiting for, the book launch proper. And for this, I will be calling on, once again, the book publisher to please come forward. She will do most of the work at this time, but I'll be calling some individuals who will be doing us the honor of launching this book. I can't seem to see the chairman of the occasion. I think he might have stepped out. He should be on stage at this time. Also, I have the honor of calling forward Engineer Mrs. Ette for the book launch to also come forward. Please, book publisher, can you please step forward? If the chairman of the occasion is around, please, he should come forward. And also, yes, that is Engineer Yusuf Olanrewaju Shagaya, who is the chairman of the occasion, to come forward. Yes, and finally, I'm looking for the last name. You will forgive me, please. Okay. Quite a number of notes I've written today. And the last person on this list at the moment is, of course, the past chairman, NSE, Engineer Chief Olumuyiwa Alade Ajibola. I don't think he's in the hall at the moment. They've left. Oh my goodness, quite. But of course, we do have, of course, Engineer Ibem will join us. Please come forward. Of course, I've been told that Engineer Ukposong will be launching on behalf of Engineer Ajibola. Please come forward, Engineer Ukposong. And Engineer Mrs. Adetiba, please come forward. Of course, a round of applause for them as they come forward. A round of applause. This is the moment we've been waiting for. We'll also be calling on you to join in this launch. And afterwards, there will be book signing. We'll take photographs, and more books will be on sale today. And I'll be handing the microphone over to the book publisher.
All right, thank you so much. Okay. So moving on, we are going to unveil the book. Do we still have those that will be joining? Okay. You want to? All right.
Okay, fantastic. I guess we'll have to go about it this way because we need to unveil the book to even start with. So I guess we'll have to start with our father here, the celebrant, to also. Okay.
So can we have the celebrant, his wife, his daughter, come up stage, please? Let's put our hands together for them as they come. Yeah. And can I request that Professor Ette, my dear Auntie Ebre and the wife, Professor Ette and the wife, my dear Auntie Ebre, and representing the eldest son of Engineer Ette's father, our dear sister here, Mrs. Esther Ogwe, please come forward. Let's put our hands together for him. I would also want to call up Engineer Main David West, Senior, to please join us here. I would like to call up Reverend Engineer Young and Mrs. Tony Okutinyang to please join us up here. Let's put our hands together. Yep. And last but not the least, I would like to call Engineer Archibong Umposong and Engineer and Mrs. Kadeba to come up and join us here as we unveil this book.
Thank you so much, sir. This is what we're actually unveiling. Can we move closer to the... Please, you can come closer to the back. All right. Okay, so we have the book in here. We have to pull this down. But before then, would you like to say something before we do that?
Oh, okay. Can we pray, please? Our Father and our God, how merciful is that most holy name. We thank you so much for bringing us here from the far and near. We say, thank you, Father. You are the most high God. You have said at the right time, things will be done. We believe that this is the right time for this. Father, go through this day with us. Let us do the right thing. Let us give our praise unto thee for all that you have done for us. Continue to keep my uncle well. Let him see many more years. Let him continue to work in thy vineyard. Bless us today and forevermore. Let what we're going to do now be to your be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Sorry.
All right, thank you. So we'll say, okay, thank you, ma. Daddy, can you just hold that cloth, mommy? Can we just say the title of the book? Christ, the greatest connector. Can I move back? Okay. All right. On that note, 1, 2, 3, go. Christ the greatest connector. Woo! Yes. So, Daddy, can you please open? Mommy, open? Yeah, that is our book inside. Congratulations. Yes, please come. Please come closer. Daddy, please come closer. Yes, sir. Can you pick a copy? Pick one. Yes, to the camera. Let me get others. Yes, yes, sir. Please come. Thank you. So we can have a full picture of the book. Yes. Okay. Sumo. All right, picture, please. Can we just hold it? Let's see the front cover. It's actually very beautiful. We have pictures in the book. It's a book you can't put down, I tell you. Pictures, are we ready, photographers? It's a reader-friendly book, cream paper, well printed, and unput-downable. Photographers? All right, thank you. Okay, so can we start launching, please?
Yeah, so start the book launch. Okay.
I think the chairman of the occasion has done his launching, and Engineer Jibola has done his also. The chairman of the occasion has launched with 1 million naira. So let's put our hands together for him. And I think the first person I will request to launch here will be Professor Ette. Let me hand over the microphone to him.
I didn't tell you. Okay. I launched with 1 million.
Thank you very much. 1 million, 1 million. How many copies do you want? Yeah. Yeah, I would like to call, many of you don't know that Reverend Engineer Ette has his first son. All of us know him as Engineer Ette's first son. And that is the Engineer Main David West Sr.
I would have loved to do this silently, as is my character. But for this occasion, I would like to launch it with 2,500,000.
Thank you very much, sir. So I think as anybody is interested, just the microphone from me. Yeah, and then.
As a junior sister who has lived with my elder brother, a person who has taken care of me so much. I'm a retired civil servant, so I launched it with 100,000.
Thank you. Engineer Ajibola has launched with 250,000 naira. Thank you.
I will launch on behalf of myself and my wife.
and family with 1 million.
I like very much to be part of my uncle's happiness, and in appreciation of all he's done for us, I launched the book with 1 million naira.
Praise the Lord. It's between me and God now, and my uncle.
So let's put our hands together for her. I would like to call some of Engineer Ette's sons here. So, Engineer Yegbule, you come forward. You come and launch your father's book.
Okay, I would like to launch with 1 million.
So, where's the book publisher?
Okay, so if you would like to get a copy of the book, it is 15,000 naira. 15,000 naira. It's actually supposed to be 20,000 naira, but we just decided today it should be 15. Tomorrow we can decide to take it back to 20 because we'll be at the venue tomorrow. So the books will be taken around. Thank you. MC? The MC, please.
So I will bring the 10 copies, right? I will bring it. 10. How many is that? 10. Oh, we want to look. Okay.
Can the chairman, Nigerian Society of Engineers, come forward, please? Let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you. On behalf of the President, Nigeria Society of Engineers, Engineer Margaret Aina Oguntala, FNSC, I want to congratulate our Baba, Engineer Reverend Ette Ipon Ette FNSC OFR, for his 98th birthday celebration. It is on record that our building, the Nigeria Society of Engineers Premier Branch building today, has the upper hand of Engineer Ette. It is on record that our father, Engineer Reverend Ette, gave us a loan when we want to acquire the land, and he couldn't collect the loan back. Let's give him a round of applause for that. So on that note, we have a check of 100,000 naira for the launching of the book. Thank you.
On behalf of the Nigerian Institution of Civil Engineers, my national chairman, Engineer Janaku, well, we are not used to launching things like this, but today is a special one. We are launching the book of our father in the profession, a man that has trained so many civil engineers. We have just heard how he trained a lot of people not because there was too much, out of plenty, but because of passion, commitment, and charity. So on behalf of the institution and the national chairman, I will launch the book with a sum of 200,000 naira.
Thank you, and I, Mbi Mokutinyang, on behalf of myself and my family, will also launch this book for 500,000 naira.
Thank you so much. As you're well aware, for those who might be interested in getting a copy of the book today, it's going for 50,000 naira. And we have quite a number of individuals who have the book with them. How much? 15. Oh, I thought it was 50. Wow, wow. Maybe the 35 is for me. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, it's going for 15,000 naira. That's not bad. That's not bad. 15,000 naira. If you want a copy, you can call on the ushers. You can beckon them, and of course, get a copy of the book. And if you still want to launch, we are still launching the book, and that's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, I just got from Engineer Etteh's namesake and barrister Ette. On behalf of himself and his family, he is launching with 100,000 naira. Yeah. And they said Etteh and Partners did not launch this book. So, Engineer Sulaiman Olalere, please come and launch on behalf of Etteh and Partners. Engineer Fausat, please join him. Engineer Fisayo, Engineer Sheyi, Engineer Bright. Oh, yeah. All of you come forward and come and launch on behalf of Etteh and Partners. And then you will launch your own.
Okay, thank you, thank you very much. Okay, on behalf of Etteh and Partners, we are launching the book with the sum of 1 million naira. And on behalf of my family, myself and my family, I'm launching the book in the sum of 200,000 naira.
All right. The book has been launched on behalf of Etteh and Partners, but I still have to launch on behalf of myself and family. I'm going to launch it at a sum of 500,000 naira.
Okay, on behalf of myself and family, I'm launching the book with the sum of 100,000 naira.
On behalf of myself and my family, and the platform Oga has created for us to strive and succeed, and would continue to succeed, I'm launching with 100,000 naira.
On behalf of myself and my family, I'm launching the book with a sum of 100,000 naira.
Is any other person launching from that side? I doubt. Okay, fantastic.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Engineer Fatoba. On behalf of myself, my family, and another member of Etteh Partner outside Ibadan, we are launching with 500,000 naira.
Thank you so much. And I guess, oh my, one more. Are you calling me? I'm on my way. I heard you made a mistake, sir. You want to make some additions?
Thank you. He's my twin brother. And since he has launched it, we actually plan for a 1.2, but since he has done one, I'll do the 2 on top. So I'll launch it with 200,000 now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really do appreciate you. As you can see, a table is being put in place here. You should know that soon enough, for those who've been able to launch the book, or for those who've bought copies for themselves for 15,000 naira each, we'll have the celebrant sign in some of those books here today. But before we get to the book signing, I will walk to him so he doesn't have to come to the stage as he gives his remarks that will be taken at this time. Right after the remarks, of course, we'll be taking more photographs, the general photography, book signing, and the closing prayer. So at this time, I will call on Reverend Ette for his remarks. Please come.
I think, first of all, I want to thank God because He is the one, the Lord Jesus, that connected me with all my partners and people who have touched my life positively, my wife and my children. Now, I want to tell you a story of my experience. When my lad partner called Lawrence Erogodare, when we had no work, we would create artificial work. And one of the artificial work we created was the local bridge. Lawrence studied that crossing and fixed a point and told this is where that bridge will be built. Well, Lawrence did not live to see when the government commissioned Etteh and partners to design the local bridge. And we went to the location that Lawrence said the bridge should be built. When the contractor RCC was awarded the contract, they went to site and told the government that don't mind those boys. They have another place that will save a lot of money. There was an island, so they moved the bridge up and wanted to use that island. But God, look, God did a wonderful thing. That year, there was a flood in Cameroon, and the water, the flood into Nigeria, flooded that location, that island, and threw out all the equipment of RCC. And I said, God, you are wonderful. So that bridge, they had to go back to the location that we said the bridge should be located. That's when I knew that this God supports the truth. So I would define engineering as a search for truth. Engineering simply as a search for truth. Because when you want to make a shortcut, You build a building with 4 foundations, it will collapse. Now, the UBA Marina in Lagos, we did something there which cannot be found in any textbook. What I call the balance foundation. Now, there was a basement. There was a basement. And there was high water table. So what I did was to make use of the high water table and the excavation, and said I was doing a balanced foundation. I then sent the design to my professor in Surrey. He looked at it and told me my foundation, what I proposed was right. That UBA Marina is standing today. We used that design, balanced foundation, high water table, and a basement. And we didn't need to use piles. UBA is still standing. God has connected me to several partners. To name a few, Men David West, Achibong Kwasam, Fatoba, and others. And in ministry, as anyone who has done work with the ministry will know that you need to be connected with somebody that will be able to facilitate all your dealings with the ministry. So I want to thank all of you who have been able to stay and to be with us at this time. I suggest that you buy the book. I'm writing that book from my own experience. This God connects you to the right people at the right time. Yes, it is true. If you want peace in your life, you need to be connected to the right people by God. I want to thank every one of us who has stayed here. I suggest to you buy the book and go and read it. It will impact your life. You'll be able to learn from my own life. Thank you very much. I'm ready to sign the book for all those who will buy the book.
Of course, we'll make it quite orderly, as we'll have the book signing. And I don't know if Mommy would also like to join him to give him moral support, maybe sit beside him while he signs this book. I said if you would like to give him moral support by sitting beside him, or maybe attending to some of the guests we have here today. So, Mommy, I see you want to sign your book. You want your book signed? Yes, please. You can just sign a copy each. And of course, and if we can have the photographer also join so they can take pictures with him at this time.
much I really love you. Gonna say it to you time and time again. Oh, Casanova, Casanova, oh, Casanova, Casanova. Every time I wanna see you, I can't find the words to tell you so. But I love, I love, I love, I love, I love you, babe. And I just got to let you know how much I need you. Show you what you mean to me each day, babe. So let me hold you. Keep you safe and warm, I'll be your sweetheart, babe. Baby, baby, baby. And when I told you, girl, I'm an average guy, you seem to know just how I really feel. 'Cause I can't let you go. I need you, I want you to stay right here with me. But baby, I never knew love until you came along. Oh, Casanova, I tell me what to say. Casanova, I can't let her get away. Oh, Casanova, I tell me what to do. I know Casanova, I just wanna be with you. Listen, baby, I wanna hold you, wanna squeeze you too. I wanna make sweet love to you. Casanova, I wanna be there when you're feeling low. Never let you go, no, Casanova. Just a man, baby, and I want to love you, love you, love you, love you, baby. Oh, Casanova, I ain't much on Casanova. Me and Romeo ain't never been friends. Can't you see how much I really love you? Say you time and time again. Oh, us together. Now that you're on my mind, I don't want to waste no time. For you, girl, you're the one I love and the one I trust. But time seems to be moving on to a love affair that was almost gone. That our love affair didn't seem to work. And me should have been us together. You should have been me. You should have been us together.
Girl, I've been missing you. And you know, it's funny. Every time I get to feeling this way, I wish I had you near me. I want to reach out and touch you, touch you, touch you, touch you, touch you.
And the way you make me feel inside, what can I do? I can tell you got your bride. Come to me, well, let me ease your mind, oh babe. I got the remedy, yes I do. Now give me just a little time. Girl, I wanna shake you down. I wanna rock you down. I can give you all the loving you need. I'm gonna love you. Come on, let me take you down. Well, we'll go all the way to heaven. You read my mind. You know you did. Girl, I wanna shake you down. Oh, baby. I can give you all the loving you need. Oh, baby. Come on, let me take you down. We'll go all the way to heaven. Yeah. I can't stop thinking of the things we do. The way you call me, baby, when I'm holding you. I shake and I shiver when I know you're near. Then you whisper in my ear, oh, baby, well. You read my mind. You know you did. I wanna shake you down. Oh, baby. I can give you all the loving you need. Oh, come on, let me take you down. Well, we'll go all the way to heaven. You read my mind. Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Don't you believe that I want you? I need you here in my arms. Oh, no, you won't have to worry. I'll spend each day in your charms. Oh, I wanna kiss you all over, running my hand through your hair. Oh, I know a place where love is. I'll keep you warm night and day. In the love zone, you don't have to be alone. Together we can live and learn. In the love zone. Come rest your head on my shoulder, and we'll count the stars in the night. I wanna feel you beside me. Oh, just holding you tight. I wanna give you
Thank you so much for the book signing session. For those who are here, we'll be taking pictures with the celebrant now, and we'll be taking the pictures at this point. So if you want to take pictures with this celebrant, this is the time we take pictures with him. We are done with the book signing, and it is time for us to take pictures with the celebrant. So for those who want to sign books, you'll probably have to wait till after this session, as I will be stealing Reverend away from you. I will be stealing Reverend from you. Let's do this after. We'll do the book signing after, please. Please, we'll do the book signing, or you'll do the book signing after the pictures have been taken. Just one man. So we'll be taking pictures now in front of the stage with Reverend Ette. So let's have Reverend Etteh's family join him here for pictures. Family only. We'll have partners, we'll have friends, we'll have colleagues. Family only. The first set, family only. Just family. Can we have Reverend Etteh's family join him? Let's have Reverend's family join him. Etteh family first, then Arokodare family. Etteh family first. Okay, I guess we'll have to wait for Mommy. The Etteh family would have to, okay, she's already on her way. So Etteh family first, after which we'll have the Arokodare join. So I believe we have the Etteh family here. And of course, that's our photographer at the center. You're already obstructing our photographer, sir. Pittsville, are we good, or is it Pittsville? Are we good? Okay, can we give the photographer a chance, please? Can we give the photographer? Oh, you're true. You're true. Okay, good. Cool. Arokodare family, please join. Arokodare family, please come take a picture with Prof, or engineer rather. Arokodare family.
to be. There's a name for it. There's a phrase that fits. But whatever the reason, you do it for me. Oh, what's love got to do? Got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do? Got to do with it.
Etteh Arab and partners with their family members, please come. Etteh Arab and their partners. Etteh Arab and partners and their family, please do join Reverend for your shots. Etteh Arab and partners and their families, please join in this session. And if anyone is interested in taking personal shots with him, friends, do come in. Friends who are interested in taking pictures with him, personal pictures, let's have it at this time. Etteh Arab partners, do come forward also. It will soon be your turn. Partners, it will soon be your turn. Partners, just hold on. Right after this shot, we'll be taking partners. Can we have partners also join in taking this? Partners? Where are the partners? Partners, you are not posing. What's going on? Where are the partners? Fantastic. There's one more partner running down. Let's have it. cheese. Are we good? Are we good? Is there no one else? Is there no one else? Okay. And can Reverend Iang come close so we can have him take the closing prayer? Reverend Iang will be taking the closing prayer. Oh, fantastic. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. I'll come to you. Oh, you want to take a picture? Take a picture, Reverend Iang. And as we bring this program to a close, Mr. Sam, can you turn the music down? Mr. Sam, it will. Mr. Sam, can you turn the music down? Can you turn the music down? As we bring this program to a close, of course, I have Reverend Iang, who is here to take the closing prayer. Can we pay attention? Can we stop the side talks as we honor God? Reverend Iang.
All right. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this wonderful occasion. Thank you, Lord, Father, for the inspiring stories and the things you've shared. Father, thank you, Lord, Father, for today marking such a milestone. I found that my uncle, you've brought him up to such a wonderful age as this in health and in strength. We thank you for your glorious presence in his life and the things you've brought him through, keeping the covenant that he made with you. And Father, really elevating him to see such a day as this. We rejoice and give praise to your name. Thank you, Lord, for everything that was done here. Thank you, Lord, for everyone who was here, Lord. And even as we look forward to tomorrow, Lord, we commit it into your hands. It will be a much glorious celebration and giving thanks to you for your faithfulness, goodness, all through the decades. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Nigeria Institution of Civil Engineers. And of course, thank you. Do drive home safe. It's been a pleasure hosting this program this afternoon. My name is Lulu Fadoju. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of this occasion. Enjoy the rest of your day. And of course, tomorrow, Reverend will be turning 90, and we will be partying by God's grace.